What's up, guys? It's that time again, the monthly encasing for February. Anyway, let's get started. What's up, guys? Welcome to the monthly encasing. Please excuse my voice. I am fighting a monster cold, but you can only lay around for so long. So I'm going to power through this with some vigor that I can muster. But if you don't know what monthly encasing is, it's something I started last month, and I just pretty much round up everything that I've watched for the month. Most of it's going to be new stuff, but I will include some older stuff that I watched too. There's going to be 12 movies in this one, and I think like 3 of them are older movies. And why give you older movies? Because maybe they're movies that you haven't seen. And so if I can maybe recommend some movies, put some on your radar, then hey, that's always a good thing, right? It kind of falls in line with my catalog reviews that I do. Every single one I do, I often do a lot of deep cuts, and people will always tell me, thank you for recommending this movie. I would have never have even thought to watch it. So why not incorporate a little bit of that into the monthly encasings? I think you will agree. But I will be doing these every single month, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you are not, I review all the new releases, mostly horror movies that I've seen. I see a lot of the normal stuff too, like Captain America. I saw that'll be on here. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. Now, these first 3 are older movies. I didn't really put them in any kind of order. I just wanted to recommend them to you. The first one is Vision Quest. I literally just finished watching this one again, Vision Quest. I saw it way back in the day when it came out, the wrestling movie with Matthew Modine, Linda Fiorentino. And man, I tell you, if you want a movie that really encapsulates the sport of wrestling, not professional wrestling, which is always weird to me that they call that professional wrestling, and the actual real deal wrestling on the mat, what you play in like high school and stuff like that, right? I think this movie encapsulates that the best. And it's kind of a mixture of a love story mixed with a young athlete and his passion and desire for the sport. And he is constantly exercising throughout this entire movie. 1985, people. Definitely check this one out if you haven't. And it was filmed in Spokane, Washington, where I lived for a couple of years. And it's always like revisiting a time in my life when I watched this movie, just because I recognize a lot of the locales in the movie. Next one is the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I had seen little bits and pieces of this movie through the years, but I never watched the entire thing. And I even thought that Nicolas Cage was in this movie, when in fact it was Pee Wee Herman, who looks like Nicolas Cage in this movie. He steals the show, by the way, as the vampire, one of the vampires. Just his reaction to being killed in one scene, which is hilarious. You had Christy Swanson playing the part of Buffy, who I think does a really good job in movie form. And it's just a really, really fun vampire movie, so popular that it spawned the actual TV series that followed it with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Okay, last of these super old movies, Ninja 3: The Domination, a movie that I saw for the very first time and reviewed it recently. And I had seen this movie pop up on HBO when I was young through the years, never really giving it a chance. And I think it's just because the idea of it being a possession type movie with a ninja movie, and you know what? Turns out I was wrong, because it really works. It's a super fun canon film. This is the very definition of a canon film. Like if somebody were to come up to me and say, hey, I've never seen a canon film, I would say Ninja 3: The Domination. That will give you everything you need to know about canon films, minus the nudity, okay? Because there's tons of nudity in canon films, but in this one, for some reason, there's not. But I really got a kick out of this movie and how it reminded me of Halloween Ends, because I can never shut up about Halloween Ends, and how a spirit passes from a dead being onto a living being, and that's what happens in this movie. And it happens to go to an aerobics instructor / pole climber. Not the stripper kind. She works for the phone company, people. Come on. Mind out of the gutter. Okay, I'm going to give you one movie that's new-ish, and then we're going to get into the rest of the movies being movies from this year, or maybe last year, just movies that I saw that are really recent, okay? But the last movie I'm going to give you that is more newish is The Founder. I just felt like watching The Founder one day. And this was the first time I watched the movie all the way through, and I always find movies about the creation of like a dynasty, or the creation of a big franchise, always interesting. And this one's about the creation of McDonald's, and how you got these 2 founders of McDonald's that go by the last name McDonald, and then you got Ray Kroc coming in, played by Michael Keaton, And really what this is to me is two different paths interjecting. And it's easy to say that Ray Kroc completely screwed these guys over, and he did. But I think if the original creators of McDonald's had the exact same goals and mindset for what McDonald's would eventually become, then maybe all three paths would kind of stay the same, and it would have went differently. But they just didn't have the lofty aspirations like Ray Kroc did. And he wanted to turn this into what McDonald's is today. It was more about greed, and whereas from their side of things, it was more about quality, which I would love. Like, if I could go back in time, I would love to go back to the original McDonald's and try one of their burgers, because I guarantee it probably tastes different than the ones today. Okay, here we go. Number 8. These are all movies from this year or just very recent. Becoming Led Zeppelin, and these are in order-ish of quality. And they're all great, actually. Becoming Led Zeppelin, I mean, if you're a Led Zeppelin fan, you're going to like this documentary. If anything, you're going to want even more. You will if you're a big Led Zeppelin fan. Hopefully there is a part 2 of this coming out, because it only covers up to the second album. It's called Becoming Led Zeppelin for a reason. Boy, my comments, man, ooh, they were freaking killing me on this review, because I wanted this movie to cover more than up to the second album. You know, I understand that it's called Becoming Led Zeppelin. I get that. Maybe I wasn't as clear as I should have been in the review. And that's the nature of YouTube, guys. If you review movies on YouTube and you get, you know, a good audience coming to your review, boy, are they going to unload on you if you fuck up one thing. Okay, that's just the nature of the beast. Number 7, Wicked. I saw Wicked came out last year. This was the first time I saw it. I really wanted to see it because my wife really wanted to see it. She's really into fantasy. She's writing a book, actually, a fantasy book right now. And she really wanted to watch Wicked, and boy, did she love this movie. This was her favorite movie of last year. I should do a list of my wife's favorite movies of the year, because they would be completely different than my list. You know how there's a lot of couples on YouTube, and they tend to agree on every single little thing. Like, if the guy likes the movie, you don't even have to ask. The girl's going to like the movie too. They're both going to have the same hang-ups about the movie. Not me and my wife. Oh no, we disagree on a lot when it comes to movies. Big time. We agree on some things, but we just, you know, I'm more of a horror guy, and she's not so much. She likes a good thriller. I think we both just look for different things in movies. Maybe she has good taste and I have bad taste. I don't know. But I will say I did enjoy Wicked, so we kind of did agree. Although she was over the moon for this movie, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a little bit too long, but the last act of the movie really kills it. It's awesome. I mean that in a good way. The last act is just, it's a crescendo. I guess that's the best way to put it. I did enjoy it so much that I did go back and watch the original Wizard of Oz. And the Wicked Witch in that movie is so different than what she is in this movie. And I guess that was the whole purpose behind Wicked anyway. But great performances all around, great music. You know, I found out about myself that I actually like musicals if the music is good. And there was some good music in this. Number 6, Captain America Brave New World. Guys, I liked this movie. I thought it was fine. Oh my God, the internet is going absolutely batshit insane hating on this movie. It's not the worst freaking thing ever. And you know what? It's another video, but this whole climate of just wanting things to fail so badly, I'm just so over it. It's getting so annoying. And I know you got to get clicks, and I know you got to make videos shitting on things, because that's the only way you can get views is if you shit on things. But thank God I'm not in that lane of YouTube. You know, thank God that I can actually talk about things I like and they get some sort of views. You know, I just to have to depend on things that I hate to get views would be exhausting and soul-sucking. So thank God. But I enjoyed this movie. I think if you're a fan of The Incredible Hulk, which I am, which I think a lot of people aren't, then this is going to be a nice little companion to that movie, because I love that this has so much from The Incredible Hulk. I like that they had the leader in here. I thought Anthony Mackie stepped up his game. If you look at what he was as Falcon in the previous movies to... I just knocked my freaking mic down, sorry. To what he is now, it's a big change. You know, he's definitely accepted that leadership role, and there's a lot more responsibility on his shoulders. And I think this movie just showcases all that stuff in a great way. So yeah, I mean, I don't get the hate for this movie. I get not thinking it's the greatest MCU movie, but to me, I actually put my money where my mouth is and like ranked it in my mind. It's about in the middle. You know, there's a lot of MCU movies that are far worse than this movie, okay? Far worse. Number 5, The Gorge, the movie that was on Apple TV with Anya Taylor-Joy, Miles Teller. And man, this movie looks like a Denis Villeneuve movie. It just looks so grand and epic in scale. And I couldn't help but think, man, I would love to see this in IMAX. I bet this would have been amazing in IMAX. But unfortunately, I had to watch it at home on my 65-inch, which was still nice. The movie looks gorgeous. It's interesting that it's part like romance movie and then part like action horror. And I think it has like equal amounts of those. I wish it would have leaned more on horror, I guess. It was more like action oriented than it was horror. But man, I tell you, it was a visual feast, you know, and sometimes that can get you there. You know, it was just a nice visual feast. And I did like Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller in the movie. It's always a bonus to see Anya Taylor-Joy. Number 4, The Dead Thing. This was like the last review I did, and I saw this on Shudder, brand new to Shudder. I highly recommend this movie. It was so unique, so refreshing. I won't spoil anything, but this is one of those movies that has a twist in like the first act of the movie, and then once that twist is out of the bag, then it really commits to that twist, goes into some really, really dark places. The lead actress, Blue Hunt, is mesmerizing. And really just gives herself over to this role. You could call it like an erotic horror type movie, which is refreshing in this day and age. You don't see too much nudity and stuff like that in movies, but this definitely has it. If you want to know more, like spoiler-wise, check out my review, which in the last part of that review, I did talk a little bit more about what the spoiler is, if you want to know that. Or just go watch the movie. But I like that this movie, it really commits to the mood that it's going for, and it doesn't like lean on like blood and guts and stuff like that. No, it's not that type of movie at all. But at the same time, it is quite terrifying what's going on. Really, this is your dating app horror movie. Number 3, Heart Eyes. This one lived up to pretty much every bit of what I wanted it to be. Just cheesy slasher fun. That's all I asked for in a slasher movie. I don't need it to be freaking Citizen Kane. I don't need to walk away from it rethinking my outlook on life and getting all philosophical. No, I want to just have, you know, bloody kills, a really cool masked killer, and a really balls out crazy third act. And this one gave me all those things. It definitely felt like a Scream type movie, but it was really fun. And boy, does it go bonkers in the third act too. There's a surprise in there for everyone. It's really hard to like, you know, like I guessed the killer, or did you? You know, I'm not gonna say. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, Hard Eyes was so fun. Number 2, Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Wow, man, I hate having to say that. This was a great little horror comedy. Vampire horror comedy about these 2 young characters. They're like teenagers. One of them is suicidal, and the other one happens to be a vampire who isn't, you know, at the level that she needs to be. You know, she's still growing, and she hasn't killed a person yet. And so the suicidal person's saying, "Hey, me, kill me," and they're at odds with each other because she doesn't want to kill him or anybody. And they develop this great like friendship along the way. And this is the movie that it was like the feel-good movie of the year for me. It was quite surprising how lighthearted it was, given that it could have went way dark, considering the subject matter. It's a French film, and I'm telling you guys, if you're not watching foreign horror films, then you're only seeing a small percentage of the greatness that is out there, okay? Please, please check this movie out if you haven't. And you'll be surprised, like if you're scared that, you know, I don't like reading while I'm watching a movie, it actually comes pretty naturally once you get used to it. Okay, so yeah, this movie was fantastic. It's number 2 on my list for this month. And number 1, The Monkey. Holy crap. Osgood Perkins, changing gears a little bit from his more slow burn, heavy type material that he's done in the past. This one's just really fun. And it's directed in such a zany way. You have really quirky characters saying really funny, weird shit throughout. Theo James plays these twin brothers in the movie, and they're very different. You know, one of them's a complete asshole, and one of them is just kind of neurotic. But just the whole idea of it, that monkey causes so much freaking damage. You know, somebody is going to die when they're around that monkey. And it was really, really fun. I've seen some people complain that maybe the kills weren't enough for the movie, but I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought there were plenty of great kills in this movie. It was really fun, and I think it was cushioned by a lot of offbeat dark comedy. So yeah, that is the monthly encasing for February. Let me know down in the comments if you like that I included older movies in here too. I always listen to your feedback and I apply it to my future content. I always want to make content that you guys like. So let me know if you liked that stuff in here. I liked talking about it. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Also, be sure to come into Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on my social, support me on Patreon, become a channel member, buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and Drumdum out.